Welcome back to Forum Daily News. I'm Wyatt Sharpe, and this is your U.S. election tracker update. Well, the first assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump took place in July in Butler, Pennsylvania. But over the course of the weekend, while former President Donald Trump was on the golf course, there was what is now being described as a second assassination attempt on his life. Why does this keep happening? How did the supposed gunman actually know that the former president was going to be on the golf course, seeing as how that schedule is not actually publicized? Well, joining us now to discuss it all is former Secret Service agent Charles Marino. Charles, thanks so much for being with us.
Good to see you again, Wyatt.
Perhaps let's just start out with the fact that, you would think after the first assassination attempt there would be more measures put in place, but at the same time you have to balance that opinion with the fact that he is on a golf course. There's a lot of kind of areas where people could potentially kind of be hiding out, so much so that the Secret Service director said that if the former president wants to continue, playing on the green, that the Secret Service would have to make staffing changes in order to make that possible. What do you make of all of this?
Well, they will have to make staffing changes, and the primary change will be they will need to resource according to the threat level, as opposed to the title of former president. Look, he's not only a former president, but he's also the Republican nominee. He's facing a lot of threats, both domestically and from foreign adversaries, to include Iran. Who have put forth very specific threats towards former President Trump in response to the killing of General Soleimani several years ago. So the Secret Service on Sunday on the golf course, just as we saw in Butler, Pennsylvania, had some successes and some failures. Both can be true in both of these events. And in both of these events, we're talking once again about the outer perimeter. And are the Secret Service providing the necessary resources and implementing the correct security plans to address the threat level? And so, yes, you will see changes, and you will see something that mirrors the protective level of the sitting president of the United States.
And I mean, this may seem like a basic question, but like what from yourself and someone who's participated in the process before, what does kind of that threat assessment look like, or what potentially might some of these, people who are in the planning process and part of it be missing that, ultimately led to not only the thing in Butler, Pennsylvania, but now most recently on the golf course?
Yeah, the protective methodologies of the Secret Service are sound, but you need to throw enough resources, that's manpower, technology, other technical tools at the problem. And if you don't, those concentric rings of security, there's three of them, the inner perimeter, middle perimeter, and outer perimeter, will fail. Now, in both events, in Butler, Pennsylvania, and in Palm Beach, Florida, we saw the inner ring of security, the detail members that are assigned full-time to the former president, have to react and respond. When you see actions like that have to take place, that's your last line of defense. That means something in the overall security plan has failed. And that's exactly what's happened both times.
And I mean, I imagine the former president isn't going to want to stop golfing. I mean, he's a pretty stubborn guy. Even after the one in Butler, Pennsylvania, he continued to go to the RNC as was originally scheduled for. So, I mean, what kind of a position does that put the Secret Service in, where they're saying that, they're going to have to make some pretty significant changes if he wants to continue golfing? And obviously that is, in fact, what he wants to do.
Yeah, the golf environment is not new for the Secret Service. Yes, it's complex and challenging, but it can also be done. It may be an inconvenience to local residents, for example, if there needs to be some street closures or an increased law enforcement presence. But this is the world that we live in. Just as when I was asked if outdoor rallies would stop based on what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And my response was absolutely not. This is not a flag that the Secret Service can throw towards the people they protect each and every day to say that you're just not doing this. It's not safe. The expectation by the protectees is that the Secret Service will do what needs to be done to keep them safe, especially during a campaign season.
And just lastly here, before we conclude, perhaps like why do you think this continues to happen? I mean, there's a lot of concerns about the rhetoric in politics. There's a lot of concern, about a variety of other things, but a lot of people saying that these are just individuals who, are mentally challenged potentially. I mean, why is this happening?
Well, the political rhetoric no doubt contributes to the overall domestic threat level.